Hello and welcome to the Cormac Crosshaven Computers Podcast, where we talk to techs around the world, and we're talking to a tech from Scotland now, the King of Scotland. We give it that to him, and a good friend of mine, and actually a gentleman who has helped me in tech a lot. This guy knows his stuff. It's Will from Consumertec. Will, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. All the better to be speaking with you, Cormac.
I'm delighted altogether. Will you just start off there? Will just tell us a little bit about your own business, just basically, and how you started. Just a couple of things there to get people to get the feel of things.
Sure. I've always been into technology and helping people with tech. I love tech. So I officially went proper with my business in September 2012. Yeah, that's when I registered with HMRC. So I went proper with them then.
Legal and everything. There you go.
Yeah, legal. And it was brake repair company. So anything technology that's broken, we'll have a go at fixing it, basically. And then I moved on to managed service provider, IT managed services, which is where my passion really lies. And the difference with managed services and brake repair is brake repair, as it says in the tin. So we repair the broken tech, and managed services is more about managing people or businesses' IT department, virtually or face-to-face or telephone support, email support, etc. like that. So yeah, it's growing. My business is growing from since 2012, and I enjoy it. Tech for Tech's group and yourself, all great friends, and it's really helped me grow as well. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, you mentioned the Tech for Tech group. That's how a lot of us know each other. It's a
Yeah.
Facebook group for business owners in England and Ireland, and I suppose wherever you want. Really, it's a fantastic group, and we meet. They do a fantastic trade show once a year, and it's just an amazing networking organization altogether. So definitely check it out, folks. Well, before we get into it. How did you start getting off in tech? What was it? Where was your passion? What was your first computer as well?
First computer was a ZX Spectrum. The funny thing is, I'm not really into gaming, computer gaming. I enjoy more the problem solving things. So when I was at school, I was always in the computer department helping them set things up, set the internet up. Set the computers up and connecting to the internet when it was all modem, 56k modems and things like that. So all that sort of jazz. And I went to college, done information technology hires, just through college since I was younger. And I was a late starter to tech, actually.
Not as late as me, but carry on.
Yeah, well, it was in my sort of mid to late 20s before I thought, I enjoy tech. I enjoy working with tech. It's something that I should progress. So I went on to university, done business management degree, consumer affairs, consumer law, sort of things like that, and a little bit of IT. I had a decision to make in 2007. Do I go down an IT degree or do I go down consumer law? And I went consumer law, thinking, that was where I wanted to go. Wrong decision. I should have went down the IT route. But hey, I'm here and I'm taught myself a lot of things, qualifications as well, self-taught a lot of things, and learning from others and learning by mistakes.
Oh yeah.
So that's the way. I'm a practical person, so I enjoy learning that way.
So actually, funny enough, I didn't get into tech till my late 30s, so we'll swap over. And actually, you know what? We'll actually talk a little there, which is an interesting one I had with a couple of the guests already. Before we get into kind of the main things, what you use now and what tech you use now, let's go a trip down memory lane. Can you remember some of the old tools that you used? There was one, actually, I was talking, I think, about last week about, we used to use super anti-spyware. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I vaguely remember all the super anti-spyware. What was that? Some of the other ones. My memory is not as good as I'm getting older, sorry. But yeah,
Hitman Pro, which I suppose they still use nowadays. Hitman Pro.
My first internet provider was AOL at the time.
Yeah.
I signed up. It was £10 a month. It's unlimited. and I think you got something like 56 kilobytes per second or something. You know, steam engines at the time. It was working on steam engines, and you couldn't make a phone call if you were on the internet as well. That's way back to the 90s when I
Did
remember.
Did you ever use Heron's boot?
CD, yeah, I did actually.
I used USB, the CD. I suppose I don't. Probably
Yeah,
that was
one
I
of
think that was the
the
go-to
first ones
tool.
actually.
Yeah.
Fixed disc and disc check, and yeah, one of the first tools was probably Herney's boot CD or USB. Well, not USB at the time; it was always a disc. It's only recently you can put it onto USB now as well. So yeah, tools. See, I was more setting things up, and I don't do instruction manuals. So I
Yeah.
just, I figure it out
There's a
myself.
tech out there who does actually, but go on.
And it's only in recent years actually that I've invested more into tools, and like Fab's amazing tool. Worth his weight in gold, as Mr. Fabrice.
Tell me there. You were saying we'll say Fabs definitely, but tell me. So, are you a hardware person? Do you like taking computers apart? Because I don't.
I'd say 30% yes, 70% more software.
Yeah.
More than that's the managed services side of it that I like. You know, it's more problem solving, things like that. Hardware, I can get around it. I can figure it out and things like that. Yeah, but I'd say 70% more software related.
Well, I'm going to get into your tools you use for everyday use now. Really, tell me what are you using to manage your tickets and your. I know the answer, but what are you using to manage your remote access and everything? And tell me a bit about that tool.
Using a fabulous platform called Synchro MSP. That manages my PSA, which is your ticketing system. Any emails that's coming in, get logged on there. Any new customers, product, services, everything gets logged onto this one platform. For my remote access, I moved from ISL Online onto Splashtop Business. I found that the business model that ISL Online have is you pay per 500 minutes or so. I was running through them quite a lot with remote access. So since Synchro Splashtop integrates with Synchro now, I moved on to Splashtop Business.
You don't obviously pay for Splashtop.
No, that's right.
And that is one good thing. That was nearly becoming a deal breaker for me at that time a couple of years ago. You'll remember it. Synchro was terrible for remote. Really bad for remote access. But since they integrated with Splashtop, they're way better, and it's all you can eat buffet sort of thing. So it's a very good tool for that. I went on Synchro. I was with Repair Shopper and went with Synchro.
Yeah, so was I actually.
Yeah, and I'd say one of the reasons I went with them, well, definitely price, but also I knew they were kind of building something. Excuse me, and I was like, I like smaller companies. I like to deal with smaller companies, and Synchro. I'm very impressed with it. And tell me, with Synchro as well, we'll say. Well, I'll actually move a little bit to another subject, and I'll come back to Synchro. A computer comes into you, you're doing a cleanup, because there's going to be levels of techs who are listening to this of all levels. What do you use to back up? You mentioned it there for a second. What tools do you use to clean up, or what way would you handle just a kind of cleanup of a computer, if you get my meaning?
Okay, so my first tool that I'm running just now is Fab's Backup, auto backup. Back up the user profiles onto external drive, make sure that's backed up first of all, so we've got that covered if there's any problems. And then for testing wise, I've actually moved on to PC Doctor, which is mostly an American-based company. It's very similar to PC Check by Eurosoft. Great bunch of guys there, Sharon, etc. I just like the user interface with PC Doctor, and I managed to get a good one-off purchase deal with the owner, Steve.
How does PC Doctor work? I know
it's very similar. It's on a USB stick and it boots off USB, and it takes you into a user interface to run scripts or automatically run stress test, tests all the components within the computer, and gives you pass or failed and explanations and you could print off a nice report at the end of it for your customer as well. So yeah, I moved on to that. So every computer gets Fabs first of all, then PC Doctor scanned.
So Fabs, to back it up, then you'll come back out of the operating system. You'll
Yeah.
go and boot from the USB. So you're testing, we'll say the hard drive and whatever, the RAM
RAM,
and all that sort
CPU,
of thing
graphics,
outside the system, yeah?
yeah, all that. Boot that from the. You can run it through Windows as well, or you could run it as a third party boot up as well. So yeah, it's very good. I've been using it now for a few months, and so far so good. It's working well. And or as well as PC Doctor, use Crystal Disk for hard drive check in, and other tools like Hermes Boot CD, for getting into the nitty-gritty.
And if you're just doing scans inside a computer, will you just use MeSoft inside there? Do you deploy MeSoft?
Yeah, my go-to antivirus, anti-malware product is MSPs. Yeah.
I suppose, as we've discussed with a few of the techs over the last couple of weeks as well, there's not as much virus cleanups anymore. If a computer is slow and they've got one of the older hard drives, that's just classified as...
Deal with the mechanical drives anymore, Cormac. So, I'll say to customers that as soon as a computer comes in, I'll recommend them changing to a solid-state drive just to increase performance. And it does immensely, as you know. So I don't deal with much spinning mechanical.
And unless there's a very massive reason, that without a mechanical drive, it's just a failure. It's gone. It's finished. And I'll tell the customer, there's no point. I'm only taking your money it's not even a case of using it to upsell something. Obviously, you will, but that's not the reason I tell them that. It's just there is no point cleaning it up. It's going to reflect badly on us in a couple of weeks. Tell me, do you have a preference when it comes to operating systems?
Windows. Yeah, I'm a Windows guy. I do like Windows. I know people say about Linux and your phone's built on Linux and things like that, but I prefer Windows. Even Windows 11, which I use on my own laptop, so I like it.
I was cycling home today. I have to get my cycling into it. I have to get into fact, and I'm now getting a FitTech. FitTech is a happy tech. No, I have to get in and I'm cycling. But as I was cycling home today, I was thinking to myself, because I'm after asking this question a few times over the last few weeks, and the arrogance inside me wants to say, oh, Linux, because I do like Linux. I love Linux. Very seldom use it anymore because we're always in Windows. I hate Macs. I pointed that out. But also, as I was cycling home today, I went, Windows 11 is actually turning into a very good operating system. Yeah. Now, I will come out and say that Chrome OS is very good for the average person. It is. Well, maybe not. Yeah, for a lot of people, Chrome OS will do perfectly well. But Windows 11 is turning into an interesting operating system, you know. I'm finding it looks good. It is good. But do you know what? In the majority of cases, people who buy Macs and all that, the majority of users out there will just live in probably Chrome anyway, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, everything's cloud-based now, isn't it? Everything's going more cloud-based. So really, whether it's a Mac or Windows PC, we're all using Google Chrome, Safari, or Edge. That's the three main browsers. So, and everything's based on using them to get access to your cloud.
They actually saying that everything is cloud-based there. The business customers there now who I'm having more and more words with, because I'm seeing people come in and they're panicking or I'm getting a call constantly of one customer. Sage Desktop is called. Sage Desktop. And I just came back out strongly against it and went, it's load of poo. I said, like, in the sense that we use zero. We never have to, this guy who came in, he had trouble. It was after crashing the computer, this and that and all that. His backups, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why is there even an issue of backups anymore? In a sense, it should be all in the cloud. Like, I never had any customer come in to me and say, my zero backups are missing and stuff like that. Yet Sage and they're setting up sharing between two computers, and it's not technically cloud sharing. They call it cloud sharing. Sage is my new hatred of there's no need. It's just
a business customer that uses Sage actually, and every now and again they'll phone and say the link's broken from the server computer, and it's not a server; it's just a computer that Sage sits on, and you share through network sharing. You share the library, for the database and things like that. And it is a bit of a
And
nightmare.
I came back with the customer and I kind of went, look, I said, this is beginning to reflect badly. I'm not in charge of their Sage. They actually pay a company £1,000 a year just to look after their Sage.
I
And I'm
believe it.
like,
Yeah.
first of all, in a respectful manner, you shouldn't be ringing me, but I don't mind, yeah. But the situation being is that this is nothing to do with our computer. Sage is old-fashioned tech. They're trying to share between two places in two different parts of the country. They're this and that, and I'm kind of going, but they don't understand it. But they're understanding now and saying, look, it's reflecting bad. Get rid of Sage. Tell Sage you want to go elsewhere. It's just not that. Tell me, do you have a preference in what sort of computers you like to use or sell or anything like that?
Well, for many years, my own personal computer was an Acer Swift 5, one of the lightest laptops in the world. It was 910 grams, little 14-inch, beautiful, beautiful computer. Never had one bit of problem with it. One of my customers was looking for a new machine, a lightweight machine, so I sold it to them. And I thought, right, I'm going to treat myself to a new computer. So the one I'm on just now is a HP Spectre. One of these 360 MW things, you can flip it over and things. It's an i7 12th gen, 13 or 14 cores, I think it's got, or something like that, 20 threads, blah, blah, blah. It works. Yeah, it works. And I'm finding it okay. It's a 16-inch. One thing that's letting me down, though, is the camera again. It's supposed to be a 5-megapixel camera, but you can see here, it's quite flaky. So, but yeah, that could be my Wi-Fi. I'm not sure, but it's HP. I know people say huge problem HP, but yeah, the obvious with HP is the hinges. Yeah, I get that a lot. But generally speaking, Dell, HP, or Acer, I like them all, really.
Yeah, I understand now. Look, I'm kind of well known on TikTok about my dislike for a HP, and I you know what? It's like we're selling a lot of ThinkPads at the moment. I love ThinkPads. They're best. And as I come in and like we're selling them for a higher price than your average HPs and stuff. Well, they're business class, and I'm telling them people, look, and this is the honest God through them saying, look, this is the situation. You'll get HPs up there in the bigger stores for what, 300 to 600 euros. I said they're fast, they're good, they're great. There's no problem. But the problem being is the build quality, and that's so. I'm kind of got. I don't want to, people who listening to me will kind of think I'm a broken record, but I kind of get sick. I'm really sick of companies at the moment selling crap stuff that we have to repair. All right, that's our job. I don't mind that. I don't mind software and stuff, all that, but sticking plastic to plastic, it doesn't work, and this and that. So, but you have to be conscious of the fact that people are budget conscious. But then again, I saw someone come in today, and one of the colleges were selling for €400 one of those Avata laptops, which was on Windows 10, so it's only lasted 2 years, literally.
Yeah.
And they are, if you think HP are bad, these are really, really bad.
There's some nasty ones out there, isn't there?
These are ridiculously bad. Like, and they were saying, oh yeah, I was like, I'm not even going to try to compete. I said, not a hope. I said, they're a load of crap. I wouldn't criticize the store selling them, and I made that clear, but I will criticize the laptop. They bought off us anyway. Tell me, what phone are you using?
Samsung, love it, always have been. This is the S23 Ultra. I've always been a Samsung fan from my first phone, albeit it was Nokia, but then after the Nokia, I had Sony and then Samsung. So I've been on Samsung for about at least 30 years, 25 years. 25
you know what? We're going to do a group podcast some night, and we'll get the folks from Celtic Computer on as well, and I'm going to have an intervention with G. I'm going to sit down. What?
There's only one good phone, one good smartphone, and it is Samsung.
Look, don't worry. We'll send a snatch squad and get rid of you. Come on, you're gonna please. They're nothing.
I do like your phone. Yeah, it's very nice, and I did see you when you were in the one shop.
Yeah, It was
It's a
like,
cracker. It is a nice phone. Yeah, I like the style of it. So
you know why? Look, why it's. I tell you, there's nights there that we got an OS update there, and it just changed the whole phone. And I'm spending hours just playing around with it all. It's
yeah.
just for a tech person, like a tech person. While we want everything to work, we want to play with it. We want to
Oh
do
yeah,
this.
that's how you learn.
Apple
Yeah.
and Mac boards and so much. And with the Nothing phone, it's just a wonderful playing. You know, it's just a tech stream. You
It is
know,
a nice phone, the Nothing phone. Yeah,
the,
I like the style of it. It's very stylish. Yeah.
I was saying there because we had a crazy week on TikTok, just crazy. We got loads of customers in. It just went brilliant for us. But the thing about it, Neri, I was stopped in a local coffee shop the last day. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, the Nothing phone guy," and he was like, "I'm getting the Nothing phone." This is the ironic thing about it. I'm sure I'll do more for the sales of Nothing
Yeah, I bet you.
than my own bloody laptops, you know. And then look, and it's something like that. What do you do for advertising? How do you get more business and stuff like that?
I'm not so great there with advertising, but I have been looking at it more recently. I've tried Facebook advertising. What I'm needing to do more is take a page out your book and get online more videos, whether it be long videos, chatting videos like what you're doing. Yeah, get my business brand out there. I'm needing to work on that. Yeah,
Definitely. But I tell you something, where we're going, and we're after paying money there now. We're going to be on the bus shelter as well, because you know I'm more
yeah,
digital, but we're going to be on the bus shelter. But we're also going to be on the soccer pitch. We're going to be on the gar pitch. We're going to be on
good.
billboards and all. But one of the things that people I keep saying about thing is that Aneve's okay with that, and she's better looking than me anyway, so of course she'll be okay with that. But we have pictures everywhere of us, you know, as in I
Yeah,
really feel this is how we take on the big people, that people want to deal with people they know.
local people. Yeah.
I do, and I think it's how are sales of laptops going for you?
So I mean, it really depends each month. You know, maybe one month I could do five, one or two or 10. You know,
Yeah.
a customer. I love the calls that come in and they'll say, "I'm looking for ABC. Can you supply it?" Yes, we can. So it's great. So it's a lot more refurbished laptops I'm doing actually as well. So it's there's no the demographic that I'm in. There's no right or wrong to what I'm doing. I've got
Yeah.
quite a few competition round about me as well. So I try and get a balance. But it's a confidence thing with me, with putting my face out there and speaking to people and things like that. So although I'm on the podcast with you, it's through the Tech for Tech show and yourself, it's built my confidence up with doing some more shows and things like that and get
Oh.
myself out there.
No,
So
you're always good, and you've been. Look, we'll wrap up now because we're over the 20-minute mark there. And I tell you something, I was looking forward to having you on because you have given me a lot of your time, private time and stuff. You gave us great tips about reselling any
yeah,
stuff.
that's good.
You know your stuff, you know, and you're always been extremely generous whenever I needed a hand. You're one of
Anytime.
the people
And it
who
works
call us
both
well.
ways as well. So thank you.
So, and you know what? We're going to try to make get 3 or 4 texts on, and we'll have a discussion about texts some
Looking
evening.
forward to it.
And
Yeah.
I'll try to convince you lot that you're so wrong about the Samsung phones. No, you know what? Well, a real pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And
Thank you.
next week, oh yeah, look, follow me on TikTok. Give Will a shout on
Yep.
his website or stuff like that. And next week we'll have another guest. I must check who it is actually before I start making these announcements. Thanks very much, Will. Go on. Thanks, sir.